So hi everyone. Thank you for joining this call. So this call is talking about like a recently the module guest I recently created. So this one. I was thinking that as our CD template GitLab managed template maintainer, I can proceed with this direction. But Marcel raised a great point that we should validate like a metadata structure with PM and UX. So yeah, I completely agree. So I created this sync session that what I'm actually doing right now. Well, yeah, and also Nadia and Dov, thank you for creating the introduction like a call, the recording that you shared this morning. Like how UX and a PM thinking about this feature, how it should be addressed. So I watched the video, the recording, and then I think that what I'm doing right now is resolving your problems, 90% of problems. So, but there are some points that I'm not really sure in your proposal, especially like workflow and workflow extension thing. I'm not really convinced. So maybe we can discuss later. But anyway, I'm gonna just explain through what I'm thinking right now with demonstrating the feature. And then, so here's our start point. This is the Epic, the improved CI/CD template management for GitLab. And then we also have this improved templates for organizations. Today's demo is basically quite related to this Epic. And then just quickly walk through that. What's the summary of this Epic is that the problem solved is basically the same with what Nadia described in the recording call. And the proposal is, at first we had a metadata, support metadata in GitLab YAML. Like there are a bunch of attributes. Like we basically introduce like a kind of container that anyone can register metadata for CI/CD templates. And then here's the details of metadata. I'm gonna explain later though. And then the step second is improve the template finder. So our templates are including group managed templates. We have like a group level CI/CD templates in some level CI/CD templates aside from the GitLab provided GitLab managed CI/CD templates. So these templates are presented through one so-called template finder in backend. And then the basic idea of this Epic is that we just extend this template finder to let it understand the metadata or even like filtering by attributes. Yes, instead of like introducing completely new things. Like previously we were talking about this a lot, but I'm currently inclined to more like, let's just extend what we have right now. Well, so yes. By the way, feel free to stop me anytime if you have questions. So let's dive into the metadata a bit. So I created this merge request. So this merge request is basically introducing the capability to register metadata in GitLab CI/CD YAML file, and then we can register the metadata like this. So this is a keyword and a name. Sorry. Maybe let me find a better. let's see, auto DevOps. Yeah, so this is templates auto DevOps, and then the description, blah, 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 how to use it, or, link to that documentation page. Since like auto DevOps is super big feature, so everything cannot be explained in this document, like metadata field. So just pointing to the documentation page. And the next stage is like what DevOps stage is involved with this template, and maintainers, who is maintaining this template, and the categories. So in GitLab managed templates case, we said that, we have category labels. So I'm thinking that we can just use it right away. And the usage and the inclusion type. And then, so I created this merge request to improve our templates at first. But, in group level templates, like the templates managed by different organization, not us. They managed completely different way, probably. So like maybe they don't care DevOps stages, or maybe, but they really care the maintenance or categories. Maybe they use like a Ruby, or like a Ruby, Python, or type of like language types, or maybe there's another keywords. Like there's something similar to what Nadia referred as tags, like a GitLab managed, or yeah, it can be freely used for per organization. Like in GitLab case, we just use like category, just copy and paste. Sorry, just use the category levels or group levels, DevOps levels for improve our maintainability. Yes, and then the usage and inclusion type. So these two attributes are basically required regardless of the template management organization. For example, these four attributes: the name, desk, description, stages, categories, maintenance, usage, inclusion type. These four attributes are optional technically, but we GitLab CI/CD, GitLab managed templates, we require these things for, because it's our practice. It's our practice. We don't enforce this practice to the other organizations, but this is our practice. And then usage. This is the interesting part: how to use template, and then inclusion type. So basically, usage, there are two types. One is copy paste, and then another is inclusion. Maybe you can easily guess at what copy paste does. It's like a traditional the behavior of template, like issue templates, merge request template. You just copy and paste and then create a new things. So we can consider that this is a workflow management decentralized. Okay, like yeah, like pretty much similar to issue templates or merge request templates. It's not like their authors are going to customize it. So the templates creator wouldn't know that how it's going to be versioned, how it's going to be customized, or maybe it could be completely changed. The only has here's the inclusion type. This is the templates that can be included. We have an included keyword in GitLab CI/CD YAML. So we can consider that this workflow management type is centralized. There's one template management project, and then the workflow authors are going to just directly include it. Basically, the project, sorry, like when user creating a new GitLab CI YAML file in a project, they just include the templates that managed by maybe DevOps engineer, just include it right away. The good example is Auto DevOps template. Auto DevOps template is designed for inclusion. Maybe also we have a lot of templates for including. Yes. And then under the inclusion, the usage, we have 3 inclusion types. Here's the shared workflow, the workflow extension, and the composable job other. This is more like a shared workflow is an end-to-end CI/CD workflow. The workflow extension is extending the existing CI/CD workflow, and the composable job is this doesn't affect the GitLab CI/ML file, the project level workflow file, but it lets author to extend their pipeline. And the other is like, if users cannot categorize into anything. So basically, according to these values, the inclusion type, we should change the UI. Like in Nadia's mockup, basically we are saying that, hey, here's a template. You can include just like include a template by just include a keyword. But not all templates are designed for this purpose. So like, for example, workflow extension, it's designed for that purpose, but shared workflow doesn't work in that way. Basically, pipeline authors have to need a different guidance. For example, so I exemplified like 3 types. The shared workflow is end-to-end pipeline definition. So you might think that you can include it this way, just include and then define the template path. But this doesn't work in some cases. This is especially lacking the sandboxing or how should I say, containerization. Well, anyways, if user has already have a project specific workflow, we don't want to let them include the template directly into their project workflow file, but just like initiating the workflow template as a child pipeline instead. Otherwise, it's going to be conflicting each other. I already explained it in the somewhere else though. This is what I'm referring as we should change the guideline, the guidance for users per inclusion type. Like workflow extension is basically directly can be included. The composable job also can be directly included, but the usage, how to use it is slightly different. And then, well, maybe we can discuss these types more later. But basically, this is what I believe in, that how to safely use templates for both maintenance and authors. Also, basically, I created this merge request to introduce the container of that metadata for templates, and then already fill the templates accordingly. So So basically, this merge request is the change size is super big, but what it's doing is super simple. It's just like, registering template metadata. This doesn't affect any pipeline pipeline execution.
Yeah, I have some questions about like your previous discussion. I think that we can maybe wait with the discussion on the specific MR. I think the MR by itself is not a problem, I would say, if we will agree on the metadata, because from what I've seen, the MR is just like adding the metadata fields based on the description of the of the metadata field, basically. I have some concerns about. Can you go back to the metadata, to the table with all the options? Yeah. So what we've seen is that users mainly use templates in two ways. Either they include a template, and then of course you need to include that, and if there is like, if you need to add variables and override variables, then they do that. If you need to include them by itself and then add it to a pipeline, they do that. But basically there are like, we've seen there are like two ways. You either include a pipeline or template, sorry, or you copy paste one. Like you take one and you extend it by yourself, and you can extend it, by just writing script, or you can extend it using the extend keyword or the reference or anchors or whatever. My concern is that if we will provide them with this level of granularity of like copy paste inclusion, I think we all understand that, but like if you scroll further down, there is like the shared workflow and workflow extension, composable. This is where I feel that users might get confused. Like, is it a shared workflow? Is it a work? Like, it's very, I would say it's very opinionated, and I understand why you're doing that, because like, this is the way that we believe is the right way for users to do it. But in reality, users do whatever they like. Like some of them really don't care if it's like a workflow or inclusion. Like even that by itself might be a little bit confusing, but at least like we can give them those guidelines. But in terms of like those other values, I think it might be a little bit more confusing for a user. And this is why also in the mockups, when you saw, there are like, basically there are two flavors. Again, we had some question about should we add extend, but I don't think so. Like I think that what we need, based on the observation that we've seen from our users, is to have like two main types: include and just copy paste them. And then it's up for the user to decide how to work on them. Maybe we can add those fields, the rest of the fields, but I don't think they need to be mandatory. Maybe they don't need to be like an MVC.
So I think
maybe they are applicable only to GitLab managed templates. But like that's my main concern about that.
I mean, like I can understand your concerns. I mean, like you referred as opinionated. I kind of agree. I'm not really sure that if these values are enough for can cover all of the cases, or like I said, the templates management type, the style is completely different per organization. So probably inclusion type, we don't need to introduce right now. Maybe this can be follow up. That's totally fine. From my merge request perspective. But I do probably we need this in the future, and then we can add this at that moment. So like, yeah, that's really fine to defer this specific point attribute.
Can I jump in with like UX perspective? So regarding the two main ways of using the template, the what you see in the mockups as just workflow template and then workflow extensions. I saw your proposal and I kind of gave the workflow extension a slightly different meaning from what you're doing here. So to me, workflow extension is, it would include all of the other different ways to use, to like include a template in your pipeline. So under workflow extension, you might be able to use extend or include, or make it a parent-child pipeline, and that way we're making it much easier for especially beginner users to understand, because it's much easier to wrap your head around, okay, so there are two different ways to use these templates, and these are like these onboarding workflow templates that I just use as the backbone of my pipeline, and then I can manipulate that, but then I can also extend my workflow through workflow extensions. And then those could be different ways or like different categories within that. But I think it shouldn't be surfaced in the UI to the user, all of these options, because it would be overwhelming. Perhaps we could like link to the documentation instead, where it would be documented, so the advanced users, they would still be able to maybe take advantage of this granularity if that's what they want. But for a lot of users, it will be just too much. Like they don't need all of these options to choose from and learn about them.
Yeah, as long as we understand that, like I understand how the UX should work for onboarding experience, like including template A and workflow template A and workflow template B as a workflow extension always comes with conflicting problems, like the workflow template A defining like this stage, like defining a lot of global keywords, variables, and overriding each other, which results in the like pipeline error or something. What I was thinking about that, like maybe we should recommend user to initiate a child pipeline in that case from the beginning, so that like it doesn't, this type of confliction doesn't happen. The user can, combine any templates, any workflow templates. Right.
So child pipelines solve this problem. So it would be safe for us to offer the child pipeline option in that case.
Yes. So that's a way I separated shared workflow and workflow extension. Shared workflow is more like maybe it's better to maybe using child pipeline is their first option. Or if you just use the shared workflow, only the shared workflow, then you can directly include it. Yeah, that's the idea. Well, so
can I jump in just with some comments?
Sure.
Like I actually really like the way you like your idea here. I think it's definitely going to work. Like at least at the beginning, I can very, very easily see how the descriptions are in the keyword. They'll be easy to be pulled out into the UI. It all makes a lot of sense to me. But I just feel like what we're looking at this exact moment is a merge request that does everything at once. And I feel like we should break it up into smaller MVC steps. I wasn't a fan. We started putting blueprint files into the docs, but now that I look at this, I'm suddenly thinking, you know what? Actually, I am starting to see the benefit of adding these blueprints into like development docs. And I feel like if we had a merge request that added because like you've got a description in the MR that's being basically copied into the development docs at the same time. So we're not really able to collaborate and discuss which words we should use, how it should be used, and things like that, because we're immediately putting them into the templates at the exact same time. So like, would it be possible for us to break this up so that we start by defining, taking all of the things that we're talking about right now, put those into a merge request just for the docs. It could be into development docs, it could be into a blueprint. And then we can talk about, we want the shared keyword or we don't. We want to use this keyword, we want to make this mandatory or not. And we can merge it and we can say, this is a work in progress development document. And then when we pull in engineers and PMs from other groups like Secure, for example, that has a lot of templates, they can see this and we can say, this is how we're using the keywords. This is how we've designed it. I just like, does that make sense?
In this merge request, I don't really strongly feel that we should separate merge request. This is kind of similar to what we did in the Future Flag, YAML files, creating a system, like baseline that we can register metadata, and then we update all the metadata files. But
the feature flags was a backend only used by internal engineers for the most part. It's not
at this moment.
It's
at
not
this
a
moment,
front-facing feature yet.
Yeah. So
for example, if we want to change a keyword, we're going to have to go into all the templates right now in this merge request, and we're going to have to find and replace every single keyword because we haven't decided it yet. Like if you scroll up a little bit on this right now, just slightly, we've got DESC, we've got desk, and I would say like my concerns are really kind of a nuts and bolts fundamental thing, like that should be description. Like which ones should be required, which ones shouldn't be required. Should it be named inclusion type?
Yeah. I understand the points, but it's also better to foresee that how it's going to look like our templates. You can, of course we can discuss this, doc updates or the actual implementer separately, but also, we should have a POC that how our templates going to be look like.
So do we need to do all 80 templates for proof of concept? We can do just 2 or 3, right?
I'm not sure. Even today, the templates management style is pretty separated and diverged. The security group is a good example that they actually studied their own way to manage CI/CD templates. I actually have a concern that how we can improve our templates more like global sense, not just let the only security templates to be independent and then completely separated features. But I actually wanted to see that how the metadata fit in our templates right now. But I mean, again, so they're split. This module gets into 2, and then like you said, maybe at first we work on documentation. That's fine.
Well, I'll defer to Dov and Nadia because I feel like they're the ones that are going to be the ones that have to really review the design and the process and how we use it. And if they would prefer it in one merge request, then I'm fine with that. I was just concerned when I first got to this and I started to review it because it was, 92 changes, lots of things that I didn't really see any discussion about, in a design sense that you came up with, which were not bad ideas, but were just something that you came up with on your own. It wasn't really a collaborative process.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say we should define an MVC here. So that's kind of the goal. So hopefully we can align on a long-term vision as a whole. Like, I think all of this is great. I personally don't have anything against anything in particular in this proposal. I think we will like iterate on it and change some things based on some discussions, but like at this point, it'd be really cool to start narrowing down to some MVC where we start introducing some key metadata and start maybe applying it throughout the templates and then keep adding more. I don't know what would be like the best way in terms of implementation to break this up, but even from the point of view of introducing these features in the UI as well, we will be doing it iteratively. So we're not just gonna do this huge redesign and release all the new metadata in the UI. So it will also be a step-by-step process.
Yeah, I agree with the step-by-step process. In a different way, we can think about this as more like experimental. We don't, basically try to experiment this metadata ourselves in our managed templates, so that maybe we can figure out that, like by dogfooding this, we can figure out that like maybe like metadata structure should be different, or like the other additional attribute is needed, or something like this conversation can be emerged after dogfooding. So like
yeah, it makes sense.
and then like since we don't expose these features to end users, we can just change it right away. We don't need to concern the breaking changes or something sort of this.
But the keywords will be present in the code, right? And present in the templates as well. So that if I were to go and look at them, they would still be right visible to anyone who went and grabbed the templates from the selector.
Yeah, so what's the problem?
Well, you were just saying this is something that's just going to be visible to us that we're just going to use. I'm just going to say that it is going to be externally visible. That's all. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. So users can technically collaborate with it, but my point is that this keyword is at this moment. This keyword is not used by like some specific organization, not us, but just for.
Yeah, but like I'll have to document in the reference like that these keywords exist.
Yeah, so it's in development documentation, right?
But it will be present. Like if I go into the linter, for example, and I put in these keywords, is it going to say this is a valid keyword or this is an invalid keyword?
So like you're proposing to update the user doc?
I kind of feel like we're required to.
I don't think so at this moment. Like again, this is more like a experiment step that like try to dogfooding this metadata ourselves.
Yeah.
When you say dogfooding, what do you mean? You mean that it will be applied for the GitLab managed template only, or it should be used by people in GitLab? So what do you mean?
So like I don't want to describe these keywords in the user doc yet, because we should not completely sure that these attributes are 100% work for users. So at first we define these things in our templates, and how like by doing this thing we can as a CI/CD template maintainer, I can do a lot of like integration tests or like something like this. So which means that it can also be used by users, and then we can be confident that we can be documented right away in the user doc to let and then announce in the release blog post.
Yeah, don't you think it will be like user, as Marcel mentioned, user will see, obviously they'll see it, might be a bit confusing if they'll see it and they won't see any reference anywhere. Just see those keywords pops up in the template that they always used.
They might try to use the keywords themselves.
Maybe, I don't know, but
we don't officially support it, right?
Yeah, but we even document features that are feature flagged and disabled, like for full transparency. Like it's like saying this is what's in the code. This is accessible. You can go and you can flip the feature flag and screw your instance up. We give all this information. So I'm really nervous about adding keywords that work but are not documented.
I have maybe a solution for that. We can add those and we can say it's like an experiment or something like that. When users see experiment, they will not use it. Okay, they'll understand. Okay, this is something. So we need to call it like a beta or something. We'll give it like a name. We can give some descriptions in the documentation, not so extensive. And when users see this, so I think it will solve the. I think we need to like take this a step further now and maybe talk a little bit about like breaking it down. So from what I see, like we have like two main themes, I would say. Like one, GitLab managed by GitLab. This is our template, and organization one. So the organization one, let's move aside. Let's not talk about it today. I think that we need to start with the GitLab managed template. Okay. As you said, like we'll dog food it, and then we can maybe afterward introduce the one for organization, which will probably be a slight more lighter version, less opinionated on that. But I agree with Nadia's comments about breaking this down even further and agree on like a very minimal list of template metadata that we can agree, we can use dog food, and then maybe afterward incrementally add like additional keywords. I have my thoughts, but I want to like see Shinya if you had any ideas about that first.
I mean, like I agree with that. We should start from minimal attributes. Like we do not to support like probably unnecessary stuff. Like you said, maybe we don't need the inclusion type right now. That's totally fine. Why not? Like maybe we can I don't know, discuss asynchronous, like what's attributes needed, right? So
maybe in the issue for the, because you created an issue that in that's paired with this merge request. So if you scroll up, I think you've got two issues. One of those, I think, I can't remember where, somewhere.
The one for GitLab, not the organization one. I mean,
I think, well, one of these would be a great place. Okay. To
so,
pick our initial, our starting group of keywords.
All right. Sorry, let's talk about the metadata asynchronously. Actually, I wanted to expose, I want to demonstrate the other things. So let's say metadata is defined. Let's say we agreed upon that. Let's go with this metadata structure. And then this metadata structure can be parsed in template finder, like I explained at the beginning. And then these metadata can be exported. So here's a demonstration for exposing. So let's say I have this, my private project, my personal project, and I go into editor. And then I created a demonstration API, which called template.json. This is basically collecting all the templates from the GitLab managed ones, and then exposing the data. Like metadata is, here's our Android template. The name is this, a description, the stage maintenance categories, like it exactly defined in the template file, and the usage to copy paste. So we can differentiate the UI per usage, right? The inclusion, if it's inclusion, then just show they include the keyword, the snippets included this template. Or if it's copy paste, just directly render the content. And then we can get this serialized JSON with metadata. So this means that we can visualize something similar to what GitHub Action does. I cannot find the Nadia's UX mockup though. So basically,
I can pull it up. I can show it if you want to talk about it. Just for myself to.
All right.
Be aware of it. This is the one. So it's in the doc.
I don't know, can you send me the link?
Yeah, I have it in the chat. In the chat. Yeah, in the. It's in the Slack chat. You can open it and you can look at the. You can look at the design.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. So like this, we can fabricate this, data, metadata, in this like a card style, whatever. Like this is a name, and then categories, description, then like a differentiate the pop up by the usage, and also this has a data source, where the templates come from. If it's global template finder, that means GitLab managed templates. So we know that this template comes from GitLab managed, or the other templates comes from this repo finder means like instance level template. I'm going to demonstrate group level template later. So this is basically what we can do. And also attributes filtering. For example, if you want to filter like only copy paste type, this filter link, the only copy paste type templates are shown. Or if you want to know if you're in a template something related to deploy, then no. What else? AWS.
And the key thing is whoever's developing the front end can just query the API, get all the data that they want, and plunk it in. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it can, and it will fit great with the search bar that Nadia created on the design. So you can search by, like you say, AWS or deploy, or like you can provide like some.
I don't know. Some reason it doesn't work though.
Would users find this API useful for anything? Just out of curiosity?
Yeah, at this moment, it's already useful for users. Even us, like if we want to know that group templates that maintained by configure group, then we can fetch that. Like these templates are maintained by configure group or security, whatever things. So like what I demonstrated was attribute search. We want to know the templates that include name as like AWS or deploy, or description includes deployment or stages, categories, metadata. Yeah, this attributes search. Yeah, this is wanted to demonstrate. And if after users figured out that like, hey, I want to use this template, then like maybe like users click a button, like how set up pipeline, and then we can force the snippet because it's inclusion. Then
if you see I think it's in the second design, the second or the third, when you are on the editor itself, like so if you move, if you move to the second one, no, sorry, so when you're in the editor, if you scroll down, you can see that you have workflow template and workflow extension. So the extension, if you click on the extension, and if you go to the next design, this is where where we show up this pop-up, and you can see the snippet. So you say, okay, so I can just include it in my pipeline.
Exactly. So like in this case, includes that generated snippets would be like include templates. Because we use keyword, not project file, because it's came from the Finder. The template location is our managed template, and include, and then here's a path. So here's what's generated for the copy paste in this UI. Well, so here's how metadata can be exposed to UI, and then can be templates, how can be searched, filtering, and also generating the snippets. And then this is the last demonstration, group level template. So what we are talking about right now is basically GitLab managed templates, but also let's say here's my organization, the demonstration organization. And then we use existing feature, group level templates. So group admins can set the templates directly, which this means that here's a template repository, and then all CI/CD template file in this repository is going to be shown under the subsequent projects. So here's the templates, the associated project, and then I have a few templates here, and I created this project, and then now I edit the project workflow, and then we can show that these are group level templates. It's also included in this template finder results. So I already.
But it was repo template finder. That's the difference.
Wait. But the backend can expose this is a group level template. Currently it looks like a repo template finder, but these tools are group level. So in fact, that here's a GCP deploy. Wait. Let's create a new one. So I create a new one. Let's say I don't know, Azure deploy. Here's I'm impersonating the DevOps engineer. And then create a deploy script. And then at this moment, already template is visible as a template. However, metadata is no, because it's still empty. So template maintainer can additionally add, because even the users have no idea how to use this template. It's just showing the path. It doesn't show metadata, so they have no idea. So template metadata. Name is I don't know, Azure. deploy. Usage
Description.
inclusion. Description is optional. In my opinion, the usage, the inclusion type, I don't know, shared workflow. And this the currently required attributes, and then can be reflected in the UI. Here's this template is our name is this, and inclusion, how to use this, inclusion, and the shared workflow. Of course, maintainers can fill the description like, hey, you can pass these variables to configure these templates, or this type of, or categories, filling categories for, helping the search, filtering. And also, Daba and Nadia frequently mentioned that like users wanna explain that things in README MD in project, the template project file. Template project. Since the backend can expose that like this template came from this project, we can directly fetch that the template README additionally, so that maybe template maintainers can explain more things, more explanation, or I don't know, documentation, whatever things that cannot be explained in this disk description attribute. So we can show that we can connect to that the template repository as well. The link, showing the link to there. I think that's all.
Is this, is all of this API new, or is this making use of some of the bits that we already have?
Yeah, just extending this, the template finder we already have. In fact, the code is super minimal. I don't know, like 100 lines change. So it's not like 1,000 change like the first matrix. See the 771 changes, like 100 changes. So this short code are just necessary to accomplish these things, because I just extended the existing feature, the group level template. I think this is basically along with what the Dog and Nadia envisioning, like more or less and similar to what are you guys proposing though?
I'd be totally cool with merging this right now, like feature flagged or something if we need to, and just starting with this like on the back end. Because like you said, it shows exactly that it works.
Yeah, and this is very aligned to our, like, this is like the basic implementation work that we need to get our vision. So what we shared, by the way, is our long vision. It's not an MVC. It's not something that we plan to implement tomorrow. Obviously, we need to create out of that an MVC designs based on the feedback that we'll get from everyone. But I think that the work that you just did will be the foundation for anything we'll do in MVC. So it's like, yeah, I totally agree that we can, start implement that already.
Yeah. I don't think that this particularly harms our way. Like again, it's more like MVC style that we're achieving, like the UX proposal in a minimal code. So I'd also personally say that this is useful for GitLab maintenance, CI/CD template maintenance. So yeah, and then the last thing I want to say is that the Nadia, actually related to what Nadia referred in the recording call, the users want to manage templates in a group. Like there are a bunch of template projects in a like a templates group, and then like we, accumulate the templates data for our subsegment project. We can do this. We cannot do this at this moment because, like I showed.
Yeah, you need the instance. That's what I wanted to ask. Like, basically, what we have today will not be supported for say .com user, because you need like an instance level access to set up the repo for the group, right?
Instance. I mean, my point is that here's our the template repository. Like you can specify the template repository, but you can specify multiple repository. Only one.
Okay.
At the group level could be done on .com. Like there's two levels, so there's group and instance. So instance they wouldn't be able to use, but they could use group on .com for sure.
Yeah.
But
so
the question is like, can we implement that on .com like with what we have today? I thought we only have it like you can set up a group, but you need an instance level administrator to point to that group. Oh,
sorry, I'm referring to the actual main where's the admin panel?
The template repo can be done by a group owner for the group and an instance administrator for the instance. So there's
okay.
two different repos. So and they'll both show up. So like at the end, the project would be able to access. Yeah.
So you're referring to this like instance level templates, correct?
That's the link to the doc. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So what's the group one?
Geez, I cannot show it.
It works the exact same way. It's just you do the settings in the group settings.
I'll try it. I'll try it myself.
Yeah. So I mean, like I'm not really talking about the instance level templates because it's unusable for GitLab.com users. So like a group level templates, they can only specify one template repository, but maybe they wanna imagine. If they have our old DevOps level templates and then the other main bunch of templates, copy paste templates, they want to have a two different repository because they want to do versioning in the old DevOps templates. But we cannot do this. We cannot achieve this because they can specify only one repository. So this is a problem. Maybe we can support multiple repositories here. Maybe there are more approaches, or we let users to specify group here, that accumulates all templates, projects under a specific group. I don't know how it's going to look like. Maybe the simplest thing is that we just support multiple template repository here. Maybe up to 5 will be sufficient for now. So that like a group, here's a group, the private group here. And then let's say templates group. Let's say awesome workflow or copy paste workflow. Repository, and then like application project. So this project can only fetch the templates, not only the one template repository, but also like multiple template repository. This is something we should support in the future. Yes.
I agree. I think this is needed also for if we look at like a really long term. Let's say that you have like multiple communities, they create different repositories, and you just want I'm not saying marketplace, but still, like, you want to use those templates as a part of your CI/CD workflow, so you can specify those multiple templates that
like put a URL right in there to pull in a different repository, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's like going to details, but I think we should be able to support that in the future.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a last point I wanted to mention, that this is the only point we need to extend the core feature.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty simple. I checked the implementation of this, but it's super simple. So yeah. Well, thank you all. I think that's all I wanted to demonstrate.
Yeah, thanks, Shinya. I think it was really good. I thought so. Like, what we need to do from now is let's just discuss asynchronously what are the mandatory attributes that we want to add to the MVC. Once we get an agreement that we can start like doing that, and we'll do it only for the GitLab managed templates for now. We can talk about the organization one after.
Marcel, what do you think? Do we need a blueprint, or can we just start from the templates development documentation?
Yeah, straight into the development docs is great, and we'll just put in on the top saying that this is in development. Same thing for the keywords, like it can be a separate MR or in the same MR, and we can say this is in development. I would just like to make sure we do document what we do and don't kind of keep it hidden so that people don't use it. I'd rather keep it public and tell people don't use it, just so they know we're working on this.
Got it.
Keep it public, but just say whatever you do, like, you're welcome to tinker with it, but this is not something that we support, and it's currently in development. As long as we put warnings on it, I'm totally okay with it, doing it that way.
All right, thanks. Then I'll start the documentation matrix at first. That's an action item for me. So thanks everyone. And
thank you, Shinya. I actually just want to reiterate, I think it's great, and showing the API pulling out the data was really kind of highlighted how useful and how quick it'll work, and how easily we'll be able to implement it once the data is in there. I think it's a really, really, really good idea. I was just nuts and bolts kind of stuff concerns that the global vision looks really, really fantastic.
Thank you. All right. See you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.